Hello, hello, hello. Well, we have some good news and some bad news. The bad news first. Our guest, Colin Kilkenny, the mega star, has postponed on the David Simon Show, which is only fair. I can hear the rumblings and the grumblings now. How dare he cancel on the David Simon Show? But as you can remember, due to the awesome show we had, hello, good evening, Miss Carol. Awesome show we had last week with Snoop Dogg and DMX versus, we had to postpone Mr. Kilkenny. So, in this show business thing, we have a 50-50 thing where everybody's even, everybody's equal. We're all stars here. All right. So I pulled a star move on Mr. Kilkenny, and he pulled a star move on me. Good evening, Miss Jessica. And that's where we at. So there'll be no interview this evening. I know I've been promising you interviews for the last 3 weeks. I swear to you, we're going to get the interviews going. I know it's not right to swear. Okay, I promise you. Good evening, Miss Valerie. I pray to the heavens above. We finally get this interview thing going. I'm not going to make an announcement about the interview next week. I hear my phone going off, and it's very important I keep in contact with the phone people. But the good news, here's the good news. There is good news. There is fantastic news. The fantastic news is you have all evening with me, David Simon, on the David Simon Show, which they like to call the David Simon-ism show. But David Simon-isms, the isms are me. Whatever I say, I don't conform to the norm. So everything I say is a little off. Good evening, Chriselle. I hope I said that correctly. And so when I take off those isms, when I do those isms, you understand, it's supposed to get you high. It's supposed to elevate you. It's supposed to enlighten you. It's supposed to make you fortunate and better. No. Get that one off. The Jerry. Put the Jerry up. There's a reason why we use Jerry this evening to open the show instead of Ned Stark, who was beheaded. And I hate that. This is where we are today. Today, I decided to go down to the barbershop and see my friend Pooba, who is my barber. Good evening, Michelle. And I normally have the Caesar, knives in the back Caesar. But today I did something different. And I think I shocked him a little bit. I think I threw him for a loop. Because when I walked in there with that hair, if anybody's seen me with that hair, I almost looked Simeon-like. I was Cheetah from Tarzan. So as you can see, I'm clean faced, which I'm thinking I might want the little bit of the hair. I might want to do a little bit of hair on the face, but that's besides the point. Pooba gave me my child haircut. This is the haircut I had as a child. If you can see, I'll take the headphones off so you can see. This is what I looked like as a child. No, not Grand Pooba. His name is just Pooba. I think he's just the leader of his tribe. Most people call him African. I call him Pooba. When the customers walk in the barbershop and you got to greet everyone in there. I'm the only one that doesn't greet everyone, but everybody else greets everybody when they walk in the barbershop, and they says to Pooba, "Hey, what's up, Africa?" I guess he's from Africa. I've never asked. I don't speak when I'm in the chair. In fact, I'll let you know the secret. I'm the most silent individual you ever meet when you first meet me. I know it may sound ridiculous, but my tongue, I bite my tongue. I don't speak. And I know Puva for about, we're on year 3 now, maybe year 4. He's been cutting my hair. And the only time I ever spoke to him is when I complained about my cable bill, because that was the only thing we could relate to. We had in common. You understand? Other than that, Puva's he's a grown man with children and wife. He's taking care of his family. You know, I can't relate to none of that. The only one I have to take care of is myself. And I'm barely able to do that. You have no idea. So when I checked the text that I received with my boy haircut, it was from Mr. Kilkenny, and he was thanking everybody that joined us this evening, expecting the great, terrific show with him appearing. And he wants to thank everyone. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. And but do come back next week. We will have the star of the show for life on ABC and the web series Forced to Sin. And we're also going to have the director, creator, and writer for Forced to Sin as well later on this month. I'm telling you, the interviews will go on. They will take off. But, you know, Friday nights, there are still interviews. There's Mr. Kilkenny with Weebay. If you remember Mr. Weebay from the show The Wire. And Forced to Sin has a lot of similarities to The Wire. But that show is for life with the ABC Disney produced show. 50 Cent as well involved. Yes. Dialect is going to run all of the pictures that we had planned for you guys this evening. We was gonna have a photo array during the interview with Mr. Kilkenny. And there's plenty photos, there's plenty to talk about. Next week we're going to, you know what? I'm not going to even say anything. We got Mr. Kilkenny booked for next week. We also supposed to have someone else booked for next week. I'm not making any promises because I don't want to overstep myself right here. I'll kick my coverage. But we're gonna have an interview. Even if I have to interview myself next week, we're gonna have an interview. So do come back if you decide that you want to vamoose from this evening's broadcast, because there is no guest, but we do have birthday shout outs. We're gonna talk about Kanye West. We're gonna talk about a slew of things tonight. We got a plate full. We got a whole show for you. We're gonna talk about NBA starting tomorrow. We're gonna talk about Major League Baseball. Maybe should stop things because a whole team is practically came down with the virus. We're gonna talk about a bunch of things. But first, we're gonna move on from my boyish haircut, and we're gonna talk about Mr. Kanye West. This is a trying time for Mr. Kanye West, and he's promised his fans an album, Donda with Child, I believe is the title of the album, and he's feuding. Yes, I see that zit is it's as big as Mount Rushmore on my face. You have no idea. Real quick before we go to the Kanye West, let's talk about the blemish a little, because in my early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, I had a pretty bad problem with acne, if you can't tell. And I worked hard. I'm telling you, I worked 30 years to get my skin somewhat presentable and not infested with the acne. And shout out to anybody that suffers from that problem, acne. Let me let you in a little secret. It does have something to do tremendously with your diet. You understand? And I, as of lately, I've been really binging on sugar and sweets and soda, and my skin reflects my poor decision eating. And I strongly recommend, if you are suffering from acne, that you lay off of the sweets and the soda, especially the soda. I used to drink two liters a day. You understand? You might not can tell from this magnificent physique I present to you every Friday evenings at 11 on Friday Night Live, or on, let me stand up and show you this wonderful physique every Wednesday from 9 to 11, or whenever, as dialect puts it. And so 2 liters I used to put away, and my face would be ravished with acne and horrible. Let me tell you, it wreaked havoc on my personal life. Let me just tell you, boy, oh boy, was that horrible. It's horrible now, but it was worse back then. Trust me when I tell you. So, this blemish right here is like a blast from the past, from the birthday cakes from last week, and the soda that I drank. I hate it. I hate to see it. And I love those things so much. I love sweets. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I ate an entire box of what is it? Half a dozen Dunkin' Donuts the other night. Strawberry frosting, vanilla frosting, dealer, and more. What's going on? That's what's up. Sugar, glaze. And I don't even know if there's a difference between sugar and glaze, but I ordered them and I ate them old fashioned, which is my favorite because there's no real sweetness to the old fashioned. That's the donut that I've conformed to if I'm going to eat donuts and not have, acne appear. And so I scoffed down these half a dozen donuts. I don't even remember the sixth donut, to be honest with you. It wasn't coconut, a coconut donut. So I scoffed down these 6, and I'm living with the repercussions right now. And with the hair gone now, the hair was actually a disguise, not even a disguise. It was a camouflage to some of the poor skin that I possess in my life, that I need to visit a dermatologist. I was frequenting a dermatologist once a week for maybe 2 years to get close to a toasted coconut donut. You are absolutely right, Mr. Dialect. That's exactly what it was. And, shout out to my dermatologist. He did a fantastic job. Before they canceled me on Instagram, I had this one wart or some sort of growth coming out of the back of my neck that I had to give it a name. And so before I named it, I called it Boy Simon. You understand? That's what you call it before you give it a name. So Boy Simon was just sticking out everywhere. I couldn't hide it with a hat because it was too low for a hat. I wouldn't dare wear a do-rag to disrespect all of the do-rag wearers out there, that real thugs that wear their do-rags. I didn't want to, I couldn't even pronounce do-rag to ask for it. So me and Boy Simon, everywhere I go, he would just stick out, just literally. And I tried everything. You want to talk about an acne problem that nearly gave me reason and cause to end it all. Boy Simon was it. I mean, I had this one cyst on my chin. I don't know which side it is. That's how remarkable the surgeon was removing this cyst. I mean, this thing was as big as my thumb and my chin, right? And so I had to have plastic surgery. And let me tell you how bad this cyst was. The insurance company didn't deem it cosmetic. They deemed it essential, very important, that we cut that extra head off of me. I'm telling you, the surgeon did a remarkable job. I can't even see the scar. Can you see the scar, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me if you can see the scar. I can't see the scar. That's how great the job was. And so this cyst was removed, right? And in the front of my face. So I had to wear a bandage, little gauze. I hope I'm saying that right. And went away. Can't even see the scar. Can't even see the scar, ladies and gentlemen. Boy Simon, let me tell you. Oh man, I'm gonna have pictures next week. I'm gonna search my memory bank in Google to see if I have any pictures from I believe it was 2 years ago, of Boy Simon, and this was the reason I had to go to a dermatologist. 30 years of acne, I didn't have to go to a dermatologist. Boy Simon sent me to a dermatologist. Dermatologist changed my life. I would tell you his name, but his office is always jam-packed, and I don't need people in there when I decide to return after this pandemic. I'm sorry for the popping of the peas. So now, Boy Simon, Dr. Zizmore, that's dialect, everyone. I used compound and other wart removals. I thought it was a heat rash. I thought it was another cyst. So I'm back there. I'm sticking everything. I'm using mirrors. I got a vanity mirror with the 3. I got the 3 vanity mirrors pointed at me, both sides and the middle, and I got another little mirror. I'm chasing this Boy Simon around, trying to put some salve on it or some sort of AAA ointment, whatever. I'm using medicated powder from Bond. I'm doing everything on this thing to try to napalm it to death. And it still would appear. I would look in the mirror a day later, 2 weeks later, and there go Boy Simon, refusing to disappear. So it gave me so much agina that I had to break down and visit a dermatologist. Now, I didn't want to go to see a dermatologist because go to the dermatologist, I have to explain this poor bad acne and other things and I have to hear that my diet is awful and that I really need to change some of my poor behavior as far as maybe even hanging out, having a smoke or two, because all of this contributes to my bad acne. And I had to make a decision, ladies and gentlemen. What did I want more, favorable skin or a good time? And last week, turning whatever age it was I turned, I forget myself sometimes, I decided that I was just going to say to hell with it. Give me a half a dozen donuts. Give me a 2-liter ginger ale. And I'm lying to you. I had several 2-liter ginger ales. You don't get this physique. You don't get this physique, ladies and gentlemen, from one ginger ale, 2-liter ginger ale. So this is my punishment for my binging. I don't know. Maybe I should become bulimic and throw it up after I ingest it. And maybe I won't suffer from the acne punisher, executioner. You know, maybe if I regurgitate, vomit, become bulimic. Not that I'm supporting it for anybody out there. I could get rid of some of this gut as well. I know that is a problem from some people, but you know that the thing about it is certain things sometimes are for certain reasons. If you have a bellyache, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to call it what my mother called it. If you have a bellyache, sometimes people would tell you, try to force yourself to throw up, to vomit. And you use it that one time, and it's fantastic. It works. You get up whatever it was inside your stomach that was ailing you, and you move on with your life. It's only when you decide that it becomes a practice or a habit, and you continues to do it, that it's it ruins your inside, your throat, all of that, your esophagus, all of that gets destroyed. Your stomach, you develop ulcers, things like that occur when you make that a habit. But if you do once in a blue moon, it might not be that bad. Don't quote me on this. These are David Simonisms, but don't quote me on this. I suggest that we don't look at everything as bad if we don't do it excessive. I do offer that to you this evening on July 29th, 2020. That if we don't binge, if we don't do it excessively, not everything is supposed to be bad for you. Those 6 donuts might not have been so bad for me. You don't get to do that without eating those 6 donuts. I just gave you a part of the pleasures of my 6 donuts. From the beat of the gut, as they call it. Where did I go off here? Well, Kanye West. Donda with child. Sounds like I'm with child. Man, Kanye West. I don't know. Is he still running for president? I mean, there's no one else to vote for. I don't even think Trump wants it any longer. I think the what do they call it? The luster has fallen off of that trophy. I think the glamour of the job is no longer there. I think it's a bad position. It's almost janitorial now. Trump doesn't want to be a janitor. And Biden, I think he's so hard-headed, so hell-bent on holding the position because, he tried before and he lost to that other guy. And then he had to work for that other guy. And then he had to wait for a lady to lose to this guy. So I think he's just, finally it's my time. It's my time. This is my time. You wait 20, 24, 28 years. You start thinking when it comes around, it's my time, no matter what. No matter what, it's my time. And Kanye just comes along like, hey, let's have some fun. Let's shoot some guns. Let's drive some ATVs. Let's just have some fun. I mean, it's a pandemic. The world is crumbling. This country is. Economically, employment-wise, morale. You might need a guy that's going to come in and cartwheel into the White House, into the Oval Office, into the press rooms. You might need a showman now. Trump was never a showman. Biden is definitely not a showman. We can create a show with Biden. Like, guess what the hell he meant then? But for 4 years, that'd get boring. I'm sure Kanye will jump into a volcano if we ask him. I'm not trying to insult the man's mental capacity. I'm just saying, he's like me. We're people pleasers. And we love to please the people. So Kanye gets up there and he does his little act in South Carolina, and then he takes it on the road. And I mean, the fallout from his South Carolina first rally, it shows you this is going to be interesting. This is going to be epic, a Kanye presidency. Who cares who he gets as his running mate? It won't be Kim. I mean, how in the world does this man? I would worship at Kim Kardashian's feet. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? That's the only thing that made me Meek Mills or not. And let me just tell you. Let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Will Smith, he's got a new record out. He's going at August Alsina, but that's not neither here or there. Let's get back to the Kanye West Meek Mill situation, because I don't know. They're saying that Kanye was hollering at Drake, trying to get back at him for his shot at Pusha T. You remember I told you back a couple of weeks when we first started, Pusha T leveled him with the Pop Smoke. We was going to get into all that tonight. We was going to talk about a little Pop Smoke with Mr. Kilkenny, childhood friend, and we were going to talk about how my goodness, how Pusha T finally got one up on Drake, and Drake didn't like it. He came back firing, talking about how I can't recite the lyrics, but I'll give you the gist of it. How he took out Kanye West, who was hot, and just left it like that. You know, indescript, very plain, very nonchalant, very not, what do they call it? They was very inane. And so now we're hearing that Meek Mills attended some sort of prison reform with Kim Kardashian, right? Yeah, we hear this. Kanye's crying on stage, right? We hear this. And then a couple of days later, Meek Mill's relationship ends with the woman that just had his child a couple of days ago, about a month ago. But it's still a newborn. It's still a premium, a premium, or whatever they call those things. It's still boy Meek Mills. I don't even know the child's name yet. And now we got Kim crying in the car with Kanye West. I'm not gonna be the one that say it. I'm gonna put the puzzle pieces up there. We're gonna play a game. We're gonna play a game show. It's game show time. I'm gonna put the pieces of the puzzle up there. It's like charades, but I'm gonna use words to paint a picture. And then you're gonna tell me what this movie is called. You don't get a physique like this without being a drama queen, drama king, or whatever you want to call. Well, drama king is actually K Slay. So I can't be the drama king. I'm the drama prince. Is Meek Mill's relationship ending because Kanye West let the goods out the bag? You know, Meek Mills didn't have to tell his woman. What is her name? Millennial? Is it Millennial? Is he dating? Is he with Millennial? I don't know. I think that's how you say her name. Millennial? I don't know. So he's with this woman, and he's not explaining to her that he's going to hang out with Kim Kardashian. She probably didn't even know Kim Kardashian was at the meeting. I'm going over here to do some prison reform with my main man Hove. We're going to change the world. Well, we're going to start right here in America. We're going to free some men and some women that had some bad incidents or wasn't represented correctly and had a poor life, made poor choices, things like that. And yet they were levied with ridiculous charges or ridiculous sentences, and I'm going to rescue them. She okay, sure. You're friends with that guy Jay-Z. That's all he does. He does all of the activist work in the world. He's freeing us from a new age slavery. So you're doing some good. Go ahead. And then Kanye come and say, I want a divorce because you was out there with Meek Mills at the reform meeting. And then she saying to herself, wait a minute now. This guy's got 4 kids with this woman. And he's ready to call it quits. Maybe I should think about this. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just saying it's such a coincidence. These are the pieces to the puzzle. You got to draw your own conclusion. And then the Meek Mills relationship was over, and Kim is crying in the car, and she's back in LA. Kanye's in Wyoming, hanging out with Dave Chappelle. getting that material ready for his rallies. I'm hoping he's starting the rallies again. He needs to run for president, even though his world is shattering. Why? Because that's what was going on. It was nothing but chaos around the presidential candidates before, and they thrived in it. I want to see a person that can thrive in chaos. I'll give them my vote. They say it's a throwing away vote, but hey, anyone you pick now is a throwaway. Piece to the puzzle. You draw your own conclusion. And so now, yes, foot goal. Absolutely. That's right. Kim Kardashian had beautiful feet. And Kanye West wants to leave her. She's almost a billionaire. She has 3-4 Kanye West kids. Artificial inseminated or not. Those are West kids in the Los Angeles County Court, or wherever county they're in California. Those are West kids. She's gonna walk away with half the whole Donde West fortune. Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to go crazy? I'm already crazy. So what's a little more crazy? Chasing Kim Kardashian around, carrying her Birkin bag. Is that how you say it? Culture has a Birkin bag. So, that's what's in Birkin bags. And I would do this without a problem. I would be quiet. She says, I'm going to meet Meek Mills. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to hang out here and wait for you to get home. You go do your entanglement thing. I'll wait for you when you get home. But don't let nobody know. You understand? And nobody knew. Nobody knew. The pictures didn't come out to Kanye said, hey, there was a meeting that happened between Kim Kardashian and Meek Mills about prison reform. Oh, there's the picture. It wasn't Alcina and Jada Pinkett Smith walking the red carpet like, yeah, Will home. We out. We out. Kanye home. We out. We out. It wasn't that. It was shh. Nobody knows. And that was a beautiful thing. Nobody knows what you done, or if you done, or if you didn't do, or whatever have you. Nobody knows. They can't judge me, you, him, her, nobody. Because that's what we live in. We live in a judgmental society. Oh, they may not say anything, but they go, Like I'm telling you right now, here's the pieces. Here's the pieces. Kanye goes up on stage and he screams, oh, I was going to divorce Kim because she was at a meeting with Meek Mills. Meek Mill's girlfriend said, what? Meeting? Oh, it's over. Kanye in the car crying. Kanye in Wyoming. Kim is in Los Angeles. And everybody's judging, going, I know I'm going, Should I move to Los Angeles and hang out outside of their Calabasas house? With my sign? Kim leave Kanye. Kim leave Kanye. Kanye for president. Kanye for president. I got them all. I'm telling you. Kim leave Meek Mill. Kim leave Meek Mill. I'm gonna have a protest outside. Black Lives Matter. Kim leave Meek Mills. Kanye leave Kim alone. I'm not rooting for their marriage to end, if that's what you think. I'm not that big of a dirtbag. I hope they make everything right, get back together. Meek Mill's the cleanup man. Yes. Well, I'm trying to get in there. I'm trying to get his DH position. Maybe I should go after the Meek Mill's woman, but I don't know her name. Look up Meek Mill's ex-girlfriend's name. I know she's brand new with child, but I think we can find some nanny help somewhere and we can hang out. Once I get rid of this Teddy Roosevelt or Abraham Lincoln on the side of my cheek, me and Meek Mill's ex-girl is going to hang out. I don't need money. Meek Mills is going to be paying. He's got the child. He's going to, every first of the month, here I am. I'm appearing. What's up? Where we going? We going on vacation? We're going to spend the Meek Mills. He's got a mill. He's got plenty mills. Milan Harris. I don't even think I'm saying that right. Milan Harris. What are you doing? How are you? What's going on? How's boy Meek Mills? Everything good? Don't even worry about Kim. She ain't worried about me. That's what I do here. I entertain myself. If you come along for the ride, it's fantastic. So, of course, Kanye promised us an album. In between running for president, divorcing his wife, exposing Meek Mill's infidelity's possibility, and screaming at people in South Carolina. He said he's going to put out an album. Now, I say a person in chaos that's able to operate and function is what I'm looking for in my next president. But, you know, the album didn't come out Friday. So I don't know if he's functioning in chaos. He might be dysfunctioning in chaos. But I'll tell you one thing he did that I agreed with him. According to a Joe Budden's interview with the what is that guy dialect? Those rappers up in Buffalo name. One of them was on a Joe Budden's interview. I forget their names. The West Side Gunners. Griselda. Okay, what's the name of Benny the Butcher? Benny the Butcher supposedly was at the Kanye West mansion in Wyoming, and he was having fun with Kanye and all of the festivities that Kanye got going on down at that Ponderosa in Wyoming. And supposedly Benny the Butcher from Griselda up in Buffalo, everybody's telling me I'm missing out. I'm missing the boat on these kids. There's only one boat I ever missed in life, and that was the Kendrick Lamar boat. That boat left me. That boat left me. This boat has not left me. It hasn't left the dock. It's actually dead in the water, as they say. So Benny the Butcher tells a story about hearing some of the Kanye West beats for the Donda with Child album. And Budden says, you didn't feel anything to get on anything or something? I'm paraphrasing here. And Benny is like, yeah, I heard some things, but we ain't make no song. So you know what that tells me? Me and Kanye's musical taste is still the same. You kidding me? Kanye heard whatever he wanted from Mr. Butcher, and he was like, no, this is not what we're doing. It doesn't seem like their music has progressed in the time that they became a smash hit, according to some people, and into the point of now, 2020. Post-pandemic. Dialect says Kanye fell off because he ain't feeling Benny the Butcher. You crazy. Kanye's last album was still awesome. Still sold, still played. The tracks with Kid Cudi, the tracks with Pusha T, all of them still great. And I'm sure those are his comrades that he would probably put on Donda and come out with another smash hit. Dumpster fire dialect. He has a musical taste that is questionable now when it comes to those West Side Gunners. I'm telling you. Yeah, I got somebody. I got into somebody's crawl. Kanye is out there making hits. What are these guys doing? Griselda's the future. When's the future? The future is now. They've been out here since 2015. This is the future. It's almost the past. They're for they is the past. Sad to say, but this is not for me to tell you guys. It is okay. It's just pieces to the puzzle. You draw your own conclusion. I'm just telling you, Kanye's not putting Benny the Butcher on the Donda's album. That's all I'm saying. So he's not totally lost his mind. Is Benny the Butcher the reason why the Donda album didn't come out? Good for Benny. It would have probably been on a hit. I mean, listen, I loved Titty Boy when he first came out. But when Kanye put 2 Chainz on that song, that's when his career took off. That's when 2 Chainz became a superstar, a megastar, able to walk and battle Rick Ross. You understand? And do join us next week on the 6th for the Rick Ross versus 2 Chainz versus. Shout out to Timbaland and Swiss Beats with another dynamic show. Unfortunately, we won't get any Kanye West performing on a versus, but he's doing enough performing out here in the world for shows in eternity. Doesn't mean Kim won't be with somebody else. I mean, you know how many guys are lined up outside of that Calabasas house waiting to holler at Miss Kim? Kanye, don't be a fool. Take the Will Smith approach. You take the L. Take the L. Take the L. Take the L. If there is an L to have, they may not even be an L to take. You could just be insecure, as Dialect said it, and just not able to accept having a beautiful woman. Who's Malik B? Rest in peace, Malik B. Who's that? Dialect is giving me information I don't even know. Is that a West Side Gunner from the Roots? Recently passed? Just passed? Am I making an announcement? Passed today. So if you haven't heard, Malik B from the Roots has passed. So I just made an announcement of the death of Malik B. And I know somebody somewhere is crying for that purpose. I hope they're listening to this broadcast or watching this broadcast. That's sad. Shout out to the Roots. I'm a huge fan of the Roots band. I couldn't name the songs, but if you play them, I'll say, oh yeah, I love that. Founding member of the Roots with Questlove and Black Thought. Wow. That's sad. That's 30 years of a career almost. It's 30 years of a career. Let's have a moment of silence. I don't know where this baby crying is coming from. So let's wrap up the Kanye West, Meek Mill's, Kim Kardashian. So when Kanye said to Drake name on the Twitter, I'm not sure if he was trying to incite Drake or create some sort of drama with Drake, or if he was just saying shout out to Drake because Drake annihilated Meek Mills when they had their little drama or their little beef, and he was just bigging them up because Kanye is not feeling Meek Mills right now. And I don't know, if anything occurred. Like I said, the girlfriend, Miss Harris, broke out. Kanye ready to break out. Anything could be possible. Pieces of the puzzle. You make your own decision. Oh, so I'm just staring at the Jerry Seinfeld haircut, the Enzo haircut. This is an Enzo haircut. If you're just now joining us, I got my first haircut in 4 months. and this is the end result. I decided I wanted to keep the hair because I was liking the curls. I like the curls, and I thought that I would have a curly top, but it's really looked like the clipper hit me, and I didn't duck, and I got the Enzo. I got the Enzo, and it's shout out to Pooba. Thank you, Pooba. You know, we're in a pandemic. He risked his life giving me the haircut. I risked my life taking the haircut. You know, unfortunately, I think I should have told him to give me the Caesar again. Knives in the back. Knives in the back. It's not that I loved Caesar any less. I just loved Rome more. Dialect could give you $50 if you could tell me who quote that is. If you could tell me who quote that is, Dialect will give you $50. Thank you, Dialect, for joining us this evening, producing the show and sponsoring the game show. And it is not that I love Caesar any less, just that I love Rome more. All right. This is somebody that called himself a friend and stabbed him in the back. No, it's not Brutus. I knew that that's what everyone would think. Maybe it is Brutus. Is it Brutus? It might be Brutus. You might be right, Dialect. So pay yourself the $50. You might be right. You might be right. I thought it was someone else, but it might be Brutus. Check back next week with the answer. And if you're correct, we'll give you, well, you'll have a whole week. So the game show is over. The $50 is Dialects because I believe it is Brutus. And I think I love the Caesar more than I love Rome. I'm getting off topic here. Well, I meant to go somewhere after the Kanye West situation. Yeah, so the Will Smith song, he's coming out. He's still in the battle. You understand? He's still an MC. He's got a joint out there. He's claiming his wife back. You know what I'm saying? Alcina and Rick Ross put together a song. I don't think that song is going to be played at Versus, but I could be wrong. I'm not looking forward to hearing it. I hear people saying it's a good song. If it was take it or leave it, I'd definitely leave it. You know, at certain points, you can see where the scar is. That's it there. That's it there. Sometimes when I sweat, I become revealing. Oh, damn. Everybody can hear that? Or is it just me? So, know where I wanted to go. Thanks for the sounds. Microphones. This week I'm studying. I might be getting a new microphone because this condensed microphone picks up everything. And I need a dynamic microphone. I know this is a little, not hip-hop-ish. I look like I joined the NOI according to Dialect. Yeah. I just need the hat, the FOI hat that my main man had. What is his name? Ruku. The Ruku hat. So a dynamic mic wouldn't be picking up all of this ambiance that we're hearing right now. That's driving me insane. You understand? And I think that's where we're gonna do. We're gonna save up some money and we're gonna buy a dynamic mic that you would only hear my dynamic voice in the dynamic mic, and no David Simonisms will be, interrupted. Maybe it's on Dialect's end, but I don't think so because he's not even on. It's definitely my end. I'm picking up my upstairs neighbor or my downstairs neighbor for some reason. I don't want to do that. Only time I want to record them is when they're stomping on top of my head. Yeah, I live in an apartment. I'm not. Oh my God. So some reason, I'm gonna have to talk a little lower because we're getting too much feedback. In fact, let's talk sports real quick. We're gonna wrap it up. We're only going to do an hour. We're only going to do an hour tonight. Okay, baseball. At least we got the incident between the Astros, where a pitcher threw a ball at the Astros for, I guess, cheating, or maybe it's just that they're suffering from cabin fever. Uh, but the Major League Baseball rules still apply, where if you get caught cheating, you're going to get incidents where some guys are considered headhunters that pitch, to a batter and go upstairs. So that happened. Then the Marlins, 16 players, I believe, 2 coaches contracted the coronavirus, which, in Florida, that's not hard to believe. And the good the good governor of New York State offered teams to come and play here in New York. Coronavirus be damned. But they would have to wait 14 days, of course, before they can do anything here in New York, because New York is putting a ban on certain states that you can't come in without having proven that you've done a quarantine for 14 days. So the NBA starts up tomorrow. That's a good thing. Hopefully they won't have to stop. And I'm looking at this picture real quick at the end of the David Simon show icon, and all of that hair, you can see the ape-like look that I got going on there. It's crazy. So glad the hair is gone. I could use a little to not make me look so crazy with all this hair on top and then no hair on the face. I didn't even show you my nose. That's from wearing a mask. I just showed you my bulging eyes. No, I don't have a problem with my thyroids. I was boy Simon with bulging eyes. But my nose, the bridge of my nose is looking horrible from wearing a mask all day, every day. I'm out there in Corona hell, and we're doing better than other states. I'll tell you that. Thank God. But hockey is in its preseason. It's gonna jump off next week as well. NHL, I don't know much about it, but I'm only saying this because we're trying to feel our way to normalcy. We're coming along slowly but surely. We're crawling to somewhat normalcy. And I didn't give 5 seconds to that video where they're talking about they cured the virus out of Africa, some doctor. I don't know. Everybody was telling me, hey, you got to see this. You got to see this. The virus is cured. They can cure the virus. I don't need to see that. I need it to happen. I need California numbers to be flattened. I need Texas numbers to be flattened. And God, I need Florida numbers to be flattened. Because we're gonna dialect says she's a quack. I don't know. Everybody wants to believe. You understand? To call people that believe in that quacks. You know what I'm saying? You might as well call people that believe that any medicine cures some sort of disease is a quack. People want to believe in something. Even if you psychologically think, well, we can't talk about that dialect because the guest wasn't here. I don't know. Dialect fell asleep at the wheel there, but yes, people want to believe something. They want to hold on to the fact that we can have some sort of remembrance of a time that has left us months ago. People don't want to be worried about going outside without a mask, washing their hands 100 times a day, or someone coughs that they're gonna die. Someone sneezes, they're gonna be ill for severely ill. I mean, people got enough to worry about just paying their rent, which they can't right now because of certain viruses and people unwilling to to adhere to the rules and regulations of wearing a mask and or even gloves. And in my case, I wear 2 pairs of gloves, 2 pairs, because if one tears, I don't want my things to be exposed. You know, I constantly, when my hands are free, I bite my nails. The last thing I need to do is put the virus in my mouth because I forgot to wash my hands for 8 seconds, 7 seconds. I only washed it for 13. I only washed it for 14 seconds. And now I got the damn virus. So, you know, sports is a remembrance of a time that's gone that we really need. And you want to know something? Forget the hour thing. I'm going to go off on a tangent real quick because I want to talk about plans and planning for the future. Now, when Disney CEO stepped down, Mr. Iger, Mr. Robert Iger, Mr. Bob Iger stepped down, they hired a person, not someone from the media where they get most of their income. They didn't hire someone from the media. They hired someone from the parks department, someone that ran their parks department. And this was in February, okay? And right now, one of the most paramount spots to getting us back to where we once were is Disneyland, okay? So how can they have known that not the people that put together Milan, not the people that put together X-Men, not the people that put together Mickey Mouse movies and cartoons and merchandise and tchotchkes. No, that person wasn't put in charge of the conglomerate Walt Disney. And I'm not going to pick on Disney right now because Disney was the final straw that broke Instagram back on the David Simonism. Yeah, I read the complaint. It was from Walt Disney. I had reposted a Jimmy Kimmel, Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl show from Jimmy Kimmel at Home. So Disney decided that this was months ago. I reposted this. So I didn't even have the opportunity to take it down if they would have said you should take it down. So months go by and then they look in my past and they decided that, you know, it should be taken down. And it was the last one. There was the last warning that Instagram was going to give me before they decided to destroy my account. So I'm not angry at Disney. I'm just saying it's just fascinating that the one individual that got the job, Bob Iger's job as CEO of Disney, was the person that runs the parks, which is right now where the NBA is starting up. Holy smokes. Now, I'm not saying that Disney and the people that warned us about this pandemic or the people that insist that we quarantine, because we can't blame it on the White House because the White House says everybody go back to business as usual. You understand? So we can't say that there was a conspiracy where the White House told Disney this is what's going to happen and we're gonna need you to supply a bubble for the NBA to start. We can't say that because Trump doesn't believe, or his administration doesn't believe that they shouldn't be playing in front of people. He thinks there should be crowds. There should be NBA games. The NBA should have never stopped. If Trump had his way, none of this would have stopped. The country would have never stopped. So we can't say it's a White House conspiracy that got Disney in a position to have the NBA run their bubble inside the Walt Disneyland or Walt Disney compound. And we can't say that it was. We can't say who's responsible for putting Disney in a position that they hired the guy that runs the parks department as their CEO I mean, he's controlling when we're going to see the next X-Men. He's making decisions when we're going to see the next Spider-Man inside a Marvel movie. Not Bob Iger. This guy. I don't even know his name. Okay? He ran the parks department. And now he's the CEO of Disney. And now the NBA needs Disney's compound. And who's better to make that deal than the guy that ran the compound, the Disney grounds? But we didn't. Who foreseen that Disney World, Disneyland was going to be needed? I'm just putting the pieces here. You make your own decisions. You tell me what it is. I don't know. I'm as confused as everybody else. I mean, it's fascinating that the one guy that can decide where the teams can lodge, eat, practice, be totally isolated from the outside world, except my man Lou Williams, who likes him some Magic City wings, which I don't understand how Magic City's open. How is he getting wings from Magic City? Isn't everything delivery? Isn't Grubhub delivering everything from Magic City? Even the women? I don't know. I mean, you got to explain some things to me. And I refuse to read about it and get an understanding because it still wouldn't make sense to me. Why is Magic City open and not closed to the public? Why aren't the wings being delivered to a room somewhere where Lou Williams can enjoy it? Why is the CEO of Disney the parks department seat, the person that ran the parks department? I can read it, but it still won't make any sense to me. Man, I was about to tell you guys some inside stuff about what's coming up next week, but I still haven't decided yet what's going to happen. I have Peaceful Pender, a rapper from Seattle that was introduced to via internet. He wanted to hang out with the club, with the show, the David Simon Show. You can't trust strip club wings. Man, Dialect, you are so wrong. Dialect is down there in Georgia, and he should know. Magic City Wings is the best wings this side of the Mississippi River. I heard it. Lou Williams swear by them wings. He didn't go to no strip club for no women. He couldn't care less about the women there. It was the wings. Excuse me. Patting my stomach so many times created a little indigestion. I might have to vomit. Get myself right. I'm willing to take the first flight out to get some of those wings from Magic City. Anywhere where a guy is willing to, throw away his NBA career. I mean, how many games Lou Williams got left in him? If he was to, be unable to play this playoff, I don't know if the Clippers will want him back. If he can't stop LeBron from winning a championship, I don't think the Clippers want him back. So why would he risk his life or his career for anything that's not the most world famous chicken wings in the world? I mean, Colonel Sanders and Dave from Wendy's is making that chicken. The lady from Popeyes is in there making that chicken. LeBron ain't winning shit. You're insane. According to AD, Anthony Davis, he's never felt better in his life. Okay, all right. They're gonna cut through this thing, and the only ones that could stop them is the Clippers. In fact, they open up tomorrow night. Clippers versus Lakers. I mean, the NBA is giving you the best game they could possibly give you to entice you cabin fevered individuals, you stir crazy people to sit down and watch some NBA. They're giving you the best, a preview of what they hoping will become the Western Conference Championship Series. And they hoping that goes 7 games. They hoping that they'll be playing NBA in the middle of October. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to explain to you as far as what's going on. The Raptors got this. I don't understand what dialect is on. The Raptors, they don't have Kawhi. That was the only reason why they won last year, is because they had Kawhi. And we're talking about the team that has Kawhi is the Clippers and Lou Williams. If Lou Williams brings some of them wings, if he brings some of those wings to the game, Kawhi's going to go off, because those are the best wings in the world. In the world. I got to get me some Magic City wings. My God, there's fairy dust on those wings. Oh my God. So yeah, so NBA's back tomorrow. Hockey's back next week. There'll be no preseason NFL games. I told you that last time we spoke about that. Well, there was 2 preseason games last time I spoke to you. Now there's no preseason games. Jamal Adams been traded. Dialect, you can put the picture of the NFL up. I would like to read the opening statement to Roger Goodell's message to the NFL opening camps this week. If you have it. All right. Enlarge it a little bit. Thank you. Dialect, he knows what he's doing. While this year will forever be defined by a heartbreaking global pandemic and a transformative social justice movement. Let's not forget Black Lives Matter. Let's not forget kneeling. Because, Roger Goodell is smart, where some people would question, why is Goodell involving himself in the social justice movement? Goodell realized that kneeling on that guy George Floyd's neck was significant to the NFL's neglect of recognizing what Kaepernick was trying to symbolize. Now, I'm not here to rally for Kaepernick, because I didn't think that the kneeling was really about the injustice to society as much as he felt it was being the injustice of himself. I'm not finished with that statement, reading that. I just wanted to make some things clear with the social justice movement. I am reminded of the tenacious, resilient spirit of our country, the NFL community, and you, the greatest fans in the world. Now, this is a letter. He goes on right further. Goodell, you can take it down now. About how important the NFL is to society and the functioning of society. And we look at the NFL as just a game. But Goodell's not missing. He's not missing the boat, to use a quote from earlier. He realized, or maybe it's his publicist or someone in the organization in the NFL said, hey, man, you got to get ahead of this kneeling thing, because the kneeling is going to happen. Some major league players kneeled last week when the baseball season started, and there was a whole bunch of rah, rah, rah. Why are they kneeling now? Why are they kneeling? Now there's Black Lives messages on all of these fields, Major League Baseball field, NFL field. They'll be wearing it on their jerseys in the NBA. Hockey, I haven't heard anything about hockey getting involved in the social justice movement. But, hey, can't fault them. They're mostly Europeans anyway. But Goodell, to his credit, I know a lot of people don't like Goodell. Some of the owners are not big fans of Goodell, and the fans boo him every time he comes to announce a name during the draft. And so you got to credit the man for recognizing his position and making the NFL iconic. in this social justice movement, because the NFL was the where it all started, right? NFL is the epic center. That's the new hot word, right? Epic center. The NFL is the epic center of the social justice movement. Kaepernick, he spearheaded the whole thing, and the NFL made him public enemy number one. So it's only right that they now make things right. And Goodell's letter is an opening statement that maybe some owners don't think was necessary. Like if you don't, again, if you ignore it, it'll go away. That's what they all thought the kneeling thing was going to happen. If you ignore it, it'll go away. But unfortunately, George Floyd death rekindled that entire flame of social justice movement. Black Lives Matter. And now we, in all of the sports world, where the majority of the athletes are of African American descent or people of color, however you want to describe them, and they don't want to play for a sport, an organization, or a team that does not want to support them when they take off the uniform. Now, I don't know how much of this social justice movement is to move players to get involved in the sports, because if you haven't heard, a lot of the big names are stepping away. They are opting out, which is a rarity with athletes, because their time in whatever sport it is limited. Is as limited as you working your job. I mean, you go to your job every day. You don't think you're going to be doing it to your death. And so these guys are not going to be playing these sports until the end of their lives. Their expectancy of playing professional sports is minimal. So for them to opt out a year, for them to opt out a year is unheard of. Yes. Bell, the Jets running back, he decided that Le'Veon Bell decided that he was going to sit out a year contract dispute. And for all we know, that these guys that are opting out to play football or baseball or basketball may be opting out for contract reasons as well. Like in a couple of years, they're going to be renegotiating contracts and bargaining. So, owners next time is going to put a clause in that pandemic or not, you're going to play if you're going to get paid. There is no opportunity to opt out. If they were soldiers, they couldn't opt out of war. They can't say, "Oh, I don't want to go to war because now it's war, but I was willing to get paid when there was peace." So you got to understand everything. The baseball wasn't going to be played. 60 games just came up because they decided that some players decided that they could use some cash, and the owner said, "Okay, let's play baseball." As it's all about money. I mean, yes, the pandemic has worked. However you work this pandemic, it's up to you. I mean, unfortunately, there are unemployment rates to skyrocketing. You understand? And businesses are trying to, here in New York, businesses are trying to earn some money by opening outside venues where you can eat outside in the sun, where supposedly the sun rays kills the virus. So you're not at risk. But what they're going to do in November, December? These venues, these avenues that they're using won't be available. So it's really all about money. You understand? I understand people want to stay healthy. They don't want to lose any family members. They don't want to lose any friends. Absolutely. But this thing here is all run about money. I mean, Disney put the parks department, the head of the parks department, in the CEO chair because it would be financially savvy for that individual to create revenue. Unbelievable, but that's the truth. And I give you the pieces. So, Lou Williams going for some chicken wings. I don't know if that was money motivated, or those are the best wings in the world. I haven't had any Magic City wings, so I can't say for sure. But if I'm ever in Atlanta, I know I'm going to request some Magic City wings now because I'm intrigued. I hope I've intrigued you with discussing it. It's 10/16, July 29th, 2020. Friday Night Live will be airing at its usual time at 11 p.m. this Friday. We have a guest. Dialect, who's the guest for Friday Night Live? Please. I can always count on Dialect. He knows all this. But enjoy the sports. Hey, they came back. The guys that are risking their health, their family health, it's something to watch. I mean, root for who you want to root for. Some people root for the owner. Some people root for the players. Some people root for the players' wives. But enjoy it while it lasts. It's a resemblance of what we used to have. And that's the most important thing. A Chicago activist. Yes, a Chicago activist coming in, a magazine editor, I believe, or chief editor, or even owner. He's coming in. We're going to discuss some of the things that's going on in Chicago as well as the rest of the country. The importance of Black Lives Matter, especially in a city like Chicago. What they think about the idea of the Trump sending federal agents into Chicago to be the law enforcement now. It's going to be deep this Friday. And I hope I ain't turning people off. Call in with your suggestions. Let us know with your comments. What do you think of going on in Chicago? What's going on in Chicago, as well as the rest of the country? I mean, Chicago is a mirror image of society in the country. Unfortunately, it's more of a horrifying look than we would like. But I don't know. Do you think Trump should politicize the unfortunate situation that's in Chicago, where it was going on a long time ago, and before the re-election of Donald Trump, and there was no real initiative to cure the ills of Chicago long before the pandemic. So you got to question the timing of certain situations. You take a step back and you see the bigger picture, as Little Baby hit song remind you. It's bigger than black and white. I hope I entertained you guys. I hope I given you some information. I hope I give you something to think about. That's what I'm here for. Oh, yes. I almost forgot. Hold on 1 second. Dialect. I'm going to pause 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Shout out to my mother, my father, of course, my sister, my brothers, all of them for the birthday shout outs. My cousin Phyllis, her family, her beautiful family, They all sent me the birthday cards and love, aunts, uncles, all of them. But I like to give out some meaningful shout outs to those that recognize me on Facebook. Because Facebook is a strange thing. You can be a nobody on Facebook very easily. You can be forgotten. And so I want to recognize those that did not forget me on my birthday. Okay. Let's start it from the beginning, the very beginning. Victor Andrew. Now, Victor is someone that I met in community college. Victor is a special needs person. He's actually vision impaired, 100% vision impaired, but he's a godly person. You have no idea. This man, he has a heart of someone that should be on top of the world, that is not facing adversity as much as Victor is facing. I mean, he is facing adversity, and he still make the world his oyster, and that's what I admire about Victor. I haven't seen Victor in a decade and 2 years, possibly. No, about a decade. Yeah, a decade. I said no, about 2008 was the last time I seen Victor. So it's been 12 years, but he still checks in on my birthday. And I'm not on Facebook often, so I don't have the opportunity to tell Mr. Victor Andrews, happy birthday when his birthday arrives. And I should really be diligent in figuring out when this guy's birthday is and telling him happy birthday. But I'm going to send him a special shout out and thank you for his birthday wish, Victor. Now, what made Victor special to me in Kingsborough Community College was, prior to me meeting Victor, I used to hear the name Victor screamed loudly on the radio by Steve Harvey. And I asked Victor, was he that Victor? Just out of the clear blue sky. And he said, yes, he is that Victor that Steve Harvey praised on his morning show. Victor. And I didn't know like I said, the adversity that the gentleman was facing. But yeah, Victor was 10 times more famous than I ever be at that point. And he still remained humbled and godly like. It's inspiration to me, and it's one of the things I admired about him most. I want to shout out Willie Colbert. I know Will practically all my life. Maybe 10 years of the 40 some odd years I've been on this earth, I did not know Will. Or we wasn't tight. Let me see who else we have here. Minish. That's my main man. Maine. Shout out Maine. Thank you, brother. Greg Gutsko, another one. I know Maine from high school. I know Greg after high school. He's my next door neighbor. But we went different paths at the age of our teenage years. But as we got older, we found that we had more things in common than we didn't. And we became good friends. Greg Gutsko, that's my main man. Shout out to you. Thank you for the birthday wish. My main man, Steven, but we call him Devin. And Devin, Tim Dog, I know those are a couple of names that don't even make sense. But yes, Tim Dog, I've known since I was 7 years old. And thank you, Tim Dog, for the shout out on my birthday. That I appreciate that. See, the stories about Devin, I can't tell. That's what makes Devin so grand. I can't tell none of the stories about my main man Tim Dog. And that's beautiful. That's what I love about him. You know, I can't tell none. All of the stories are running in my mind right now as I grin from ear to ear that I would love to tell you, but he's not here, so it would be unfair to expose him. All right. Thank you, Tim Dog, for the birthday shout out. Who else we got? Oh, we got Miss Renee. Thank you for the birthday shout out. My aunt Ruby, we gave her a shout out. Natalie Bruiser. Ah, the straight shooter. Let me tell you something. Before the David Simon Show was the David Simon Show, I met a young lady by the name of Natalie Bruiser, and she's probably saying I'm saying that name wrong. And she became a real close friend. The straight shooter, yes, dialect. She became a real friend. And when I say a real friend, I'm talking about someone that shows up when I'm on my deathbed in the hospital to read my acceptance. It was a letter that was written for me by the head of the Department of Broadcasting. It was an award that I was getting that I was too sick to receive, that she received for me and brought to me at the hospital because we did the show together. It was the David Simon Show. Yeah. And the straight shooter was the news person, and the person that stepped in and told me when I was wrong, when I said words wrong or whatever have you. And it was a real Abbott and Costello bit that we had going on, a real Laurel and Hardy thing. And I missed it sometimes. And Dialect had said to me, maybe you should ask the straight shooter if she would like to be my co-host on the David Simon Show now for HipHopCitizen. And I said, sure, that sounds good. But then I suggested that maybe we hold auditions for the position. Maybe there could be someone better than a straight shooter. And Dialect shot that idea down. We haven't had one audition yet. I haven't reached out to the straight shooter, Natalie Bruiser, but I would love to have her. I know she's upstate New York. She hangs out with the governor a lot. She does news for a local station up there in Albany. I think it's Albany. And she's involved in a lot of, activism. And I don't even know if she has time to play with me anymore. Not that I'm here to play. I'm here to do serious work. But thank you, Natalie Bruiser, for still being a friend. 10 years and better. I've lost that award. I don't know where it is, but thank you for bringing it to me. Thank you for recognizing that I had some sort of talent. The straight shooter is irreplaceable. Yes, Dialect, straight shooter is irreplaceable, but I don't think, you know what? I'll be honest with you. The straight shooter and Diva, they're the same individual almost. They are the same individual. They all give me shit. Okay? And it made it a part of the show, made the show good. Not when Diva gives me shit, because I'm a little old now. You can't be taking no shit. Thank you to my main man, Bruce. I would give you Bruce's real name because that's what I call him, because it's a royalty name. And we have a good time. He doesn't like people to know, I don't think, his royal name, but it's funny. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Okay. Thank you, Miss Gilmore Rowley, cousin. Thank you, Cyan. I know Cyan from high school. I was hoping that Colin was here. We could have ran through the names, had a good time, brought up Cyan and everything, talked about it. Shout out to Josh. Josh is a broadcaster. He has his own podcast. I would say your last name, but I don't want to mess it up. Shatetsky. He's a wrestling fan as well, special needs individual, but the heart of a lion. I mean, he's a quadriplegic, and he does more in a day than I can ever do. He's a very good dude, Dialect. He is an inspiration, along with Victor, for me to wake up and get out of that bed every day and do the Lord's work. And I thank Mr. Josh for respecting me enough and being humbled enough to send a birthday shout out. And I hope you do listen to this, because This is my thank you to you, and as Victor, I should definitely pay attention and figure out when you guys' birthday are, and send some love and appreciation, because I can't put into words what it means to me that you guys would take time out of your days to say happy birthday to me. Thank you. Little Ron, it's my nephew. Thank you. I could tell you some stories about Little Ron too, but I don't want to embarrass him. He's a good guy. I'm not saying that because he's my nephew. He's an honest individual. Y'all like Fred Sanford and Aunt Esther. Me and Straight Shooter, or me and Diva? I think me and Diva is more like Fred Sanford and Aunt Esther. Yes. So my little nephew, Little Ron, thank you. I appreciate the love. You have no idea. Oh, Diva. Yes, Diva and I are like Fred Sanford and Aunt Esther. Thank you, Dialect. Little Ron I don't know if he still wants to be a rapper, but Fast Life Ron on YouTube. Check it out. Maybe we interview him one time. I didn't even think about that. Maybe we give him a chance and an opportunity to be interviewed. Dee Dee. Thank you, Dee Dee. I known Dee Dee half of my life. Dee Dee's a married woman, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna go into any innuendos. Shout out to Hurricane G. Hurricane G. I see you, Playboy. Shout out to you. Thank you for the birthday shout out from Hurricane G. Brooklyn's own. Thank you for the birthday shout outs. I appreciate that. My main man, Gustavo. Gus is what we call him. Now, let me tell you something about Gus. Gus, I met through my older brother and Will. He's around their age. And Gus is a major fight fan. I mean, major fight fan. If I learn anything about boxing. If I learn anything about boxing, is from Gustavo. Gus. I mean, we watched rounds and rounds, hundreds of rounds, at least 1,000 rounds of boxing back in the days when Chavez was out there, when Frankie Randall was out there, Winky Wright, before Roy Jones Jr. was fighting Mike Tyson for exhibition. Roy Jones Jr., Pernell Whitaker, not Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker. We watched hours of boxing. Giovanni, shout out Giovanni. He's up there in Buffalo as well. I interviewed Giovanni back at Brooklyn College Radio, I believe. And we had a good time. And shout out to Eric Blasco. Now, I hope I said that, Blasco. Eric Blasco. Eric's birthday is the same day as mine, July 22nd. And I don't check the Facebook until maybe a day or two after my birthday, because I want to say thank you and everything to those that do recognize E-Train. Yes. And Eric is an honest, charitable person, because he never forgets to say happy birthday to me. Me, I forget every year to say Mr. Blasco happy birthday, and it's the same day. And when I see his name, I always say, shh, did I forget to say happy birthday? Well, Twitter, Instagram, for the last couple of years, he's a sports buff. Yes, Eric. Maybe we'll get Eric on the show, Dialect. Maybe we have him come on one of these Wednesday nights as a present for his birthday. And Twitter, Instagram, monopolized my time for the last several years, 10 years and better. And Facebook was just sitting there idle. You look at the pictures are 10 years old. Pictures are 12 years old. You understand what I'm saying? It's been a long time since I've been on Facebook. So I only check Facebook once in a while. But now that I've been banned from Twitter and Instagram, Facebook has become my all reliable. And I have to make friends with the people that has been there all the time that I've basically ignored or somewhat forgotten about. Shame on me. Shame on me, Mr. Blasco. Shame on me. Shout out to Eric and Fleming. Yes, shout out Fleming. Great story I got from about Fleming, but I'm not going to tell. Yes, Dialect remembers Eric. He's from Brooklyn College. Good guy. Real good guy. And happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, brother. Happy belated birthday. And Stormy. Shout out to Stormy. Now, Stormy is an interesting fella. Because Stormy, when you talk about a sports buff, you talk about Jets. Oh man, if you don't know your information with Stormy, you'll be lucky if Stormy don't walk away from you. Stormy is the man when it comes to the Jets. I think I know something about the Jets. I mean, I wake up mornings thinking about the Jets. Stormy eats, sleep, drink, everything Jets. We have a conversation, and just like I rely on Dialect for information, I rely on Stormy for information. It's like I come there to learn when I'm talking to Stormy. It's not a conversation. It's a lecture. And Stormy is the headmaster. Pause. He's the professor. Shout out to Cisco. Again, someone else. Stories I can't tell. It's not my place to tell these people stories. But they're interesting stories. They are grand stories. Oh, I can regale you for days with stories about Cisco and Tim Dog. Oh, we'd be here until Sunday laughing. Shout out. Oh, okay. Hold on. I don't want to forget anyone. But I don't want to seem like I'm that popular and I had so many people wishing me happy birthday. That's not the case neither. Okay, here we go. Steve Murph. Now, Steve Murph had me on his show. Brooklyn Stories always make good radio. Oh, they do, but I can't bring them on because they're not my stories to tell. And I also need information. I need reasons and things. Steve Murph. Yes, Dialect. Steve Murph sent me a birthday shout out. Now this guy's classic radio voice, perfect radio personality, absolutely dedicated to the music. And I'm not talking about hip hop. No. Mr. Murph don't. I don't even know if he cared about hip hop really. Mr. Murph cared about music, all kinds of music, jazz, classical, R&B, maybe a little hip hop, dance, you name it, techno. Yo, Murph knew everything about music. Thought he was an undercover cop when I met him. Yes, because his demeanor is that reserved, and he's very he's a minimal guy. He doesn't give a lot, except when he's on the air. On the air you don't have to pull it from him. Like when his personality is very reserved. Like I said, he's a quiet guy, but when he's on the air, perfect radio personality. He gives you all of it. A mix of Danny Aiello and Vanilla Ice. You have an interesting concoction there, Mr. Dialect. And I think that would be insulting to Mr. Muir. I would think more like Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra. Okay, and just not when they were younger. That's all. Not older, younger. That's all. Very, very, very good guy. I wish we can go on the air together because we had a good time. We had fun. I learned a lot. And as you can tell, I'm not above learning here. That's why I like the interaction. I rather there would be back and forth with the comments and things like that because I like to learn. Maybe I don't know everything. If a person that claims to know everything knows nothing. I'm more of a Socrates individual. I have more questions. That's why I do so well in the interviews because I have more questions than I do answers about everything. Like I said, I give you the pieces, but you would have to tell me the answers. Shout out to Sandra. Now, Sandra is an interesting lady, and I'm saying all these people are interesting. You would think that I would be interesting too because I have so many interesting people in my life, but I'm not that interesting. That's why I search out and live vicariously through the individuals that have reached out to wish me a happy birthday. And Sandra, let me tell you, Sandra from Brooklyn College. No, Sandra from PS 99. This is elementary school. I know Sandra since I was 7 years old. We went through elementary school together, all the way up to eighth grade, where I was asked to leave. I was unceremoniously relieved of PS 99, and Sandra. Let me explain. All right. Before there was Netflix, and before there were all of these streaming things. And I was going to talk to Colin about this as well tonight, how wonderful the internet is. Because at a touch of a finger, you can get all of those movies that people had to be on a waiting list at video stores. You understand? Blockbuster would have 30 copies of one movie. And if you went to Blockbusters on a Friday evening too late, you didn't get a copy of the 30 copies that they had. You understand what I'm saying? So Sandra worked at the local video store called J Video. And J Video was popular. It had video games in the basement, and it had all of the new movies, posters everywhere. It was the biggest thing happening in my neighborhood, was Avenue J Video Store. Shout out to Al. And so Al would only buy 5 copies of a movie. And if a movie was a hit, Netflix told Blockbuster to eat a dick. Yes, dialect, they did. If the movie was a hit, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, those was the guys that really ran the 90s and the 80s. If their movie was a hit and it was only 5 copies, and the video store had, let me tell you, my number was 2656. So that means there was 2,655 more people ahead of me to get one of the 5 copies of those movies that weren't into the porn or not into action. Because that's my thing. Jean-Claude Van Damme, I'm there. Steven Seagal, I'm there. You understand what I'm saying? I love those action films. Those are my things. And so also the WWF. Back in the days, if you didn't want to pay for pay-per-view, they would put it out and release it on VHS, and you can rent it and you can watch it all as many times as you want in the 24-hour time that you had in the rental. So Sandra and a couple of other little girls down there, Irene, shout out to Irene, and I don't remember all of the girls' names. They would put the hit movies on the side for me because they knew I had no wife, and all I had was my VHS, my video card, my library card, and my video card was very, very important to me in my youth. Let me just tell you. You understand? With Acme, they were the prime of my life. They were paramount. I needed to have my library card updated and my video card. So Sandra is very important in my youth, and beyond elementary school years. I counted on her to make sure that I got all of the blockbusters. I mean, let's say they would release the movies, the VHS. I remember this. They would release them on a Tuesday. You understand? I'm watching them Thursday, Friday. the longest Thursday or Friday. If I didn't get him on, if I didn't get Michael Keaton Batman, I got Michael Keaton Batman Monday. They released him on Tuesday. I got that on Monday. Okay? Thank you, Sandra. And all the ladies at J Video. J Video is gone now, like most video stores, into the dark dust of the past. And I watch any movie I want now. Just a click of the button. But that doesn't mean I don't cherish and appreciate what was presented to me back then, because it made me who I am. A fat kid with acne. Fat kid with acne virgin. Shout out to Shamik, another person. I could tell you some stories about Shamik. I mean, Chinaman. Shamik is he's the little brother of family friend for years. He's a family friend as well. Let me not say he's a little brother. He's a part of a family that's been a family friends of mine for 30 years. Excuse me, 37 years. We've been family friends. And I appreciate Shamik hollering out. Shout out to Tanya, his sister. She also wished me a happy birthday. God bless her. I hope all is well with her and her family. Some people requested I did not say their names in the shout out, so I'm going to do that. Now, here's a person that is younger than me, but yet I respect and immensely. I somewhat idolize his work ethic. I appreciate that he calls me a friend. His name is Rich De La Rosa, but we call him Strike. I like to call him Richie Rich because he has the personality of a billionaire, a trillionaire, and you know, someday it may happen. His drive is just that. His will and drive is just that strong. He's been all over the world. You know, he started out as my apprentice and became the predecessor. You understand? He's now. I study his movements. You understand? I get in a tight jam. Rich has got to be maybe 6 years younger than me, 7 years younger than me. I go to him for advice. Call me lame or whatever, but I know a star when I see one. And Rich from a little boy, I mean 12 years old. He was always smart, honest, genuine, perfect specimen of a godly person. And I wish him nothing but the best in life. And I appreciate that he calls me a friend and he checks up on me. He wishes me happy birthday and things like that. That's grand, because if I didn't know him from when he was a little boy, I wouldn't know him now, because, you know, he's too big for me to know. I mean, I don't know Jay-Z or Puff Daddy, and that's the level that I put Rich on. And Rich eventually would earn the same amount of money that those guys garnered as well. Shout out to Devo. Now I could tell you a story about Devo. Let me tell you about Devo. Story about Devo. Let me tell you, Devo, he came up same way as me, hard knock life, out of Bed-Stuy. It's 10:48, so this is going to be a real quick one. But I wish I would have started this earlier, because that would have been something to do instead of the sports stuff, right? Forget Disney. But Devo took me on my first mission of some boobage. Okay, as an early youth growing up, I hated the idea of smoking boobage or being around people that smoke boobage. And one day, me and Devo takes a trip all the way across town on the train. I think we were about 17 years old, 18 years old. And I was going to smoke my first blunt, as they call it. And so we go out, we go and we purchase the $5 bag. Shout out to Nostrin. And we get on a train. We come back to my main man, Eddie. Shout out to Eddie. I spoke to him last week. That's Devo's cousin. Shout out to his boy. He's going to be big in the NFL someday. So we go back to Eddie's crib and we light it up, the Bubage, and we smoke. And when I woke up, those guys was munching on snacks and enjoying life like nothing had happened. And I was asleep for about an hour and a half. Okay? An hour and a half. I was just crawled up on Eddie's couch, sleeping, snoring, drooling out of my mouth. That's how the Bubage had me, man. Had me zonked. Done. And Devo was responsible for that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the level of stories. Now, if you think that's tame, some of the other stories are even worse. Tim Dog and 40s at the train station. Okay, I just give you a little snippet. Underage, barely was able to get home. But forget it. Like I said, I don't want to tell other people's stories. Taisha. Hold on. First, shout out to my upstairs neighbor, Teresa. I met her through, again, another 99 friend, Jerry Soto. Shout out to Jerry Soto. They had a relationship, and I met Teresa through, and we remain friends, even though that they are no longer together. And her entire family is good to me. Her mom, her kids, they're all, very neighborly. And for her to wish me a happy birthday, I appreciate that. Thank you, Teresa. Taisha, I was next door neighbor with Taisha in another building. Taisha reached out and said, happy birthday. And I appreciate that because, these people don't have to. They take time out, and I appreciate that. It shows that I made some sort of impact, or they like me. I don't have the personality to be liked too much. So I appreciate that. Do I have any stories about Taisha? Yes. One time we were playing a game, Taisha and a couple other friends in the courtyard. And I wised off at Taisha, and she got up and walked away. And someone told me later on, Eddie told me that the word got back to him that Taisha said it took all her power not to give me a spin house kick to my jaw. Taisha studied karate, I think maybe 10, 15 years. So she would have made it very nice. It would have been quick and easy. And she restrained herself from kicking my teeth in one night. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Taisha. I'll tell you guys that story. Thank you, Taisha, for not beating me to a bloody pulp that night. I just say things just to say them sometimes. I don't really mean them. But if I think that it's going to get to a person, I say it. So, okay, let's make this quick because we only have 7 minutes left. All right. Jacob, thank you for the birthday shout out. Jacob, I lived upstairs from for about a good 20 years. Jacob and we played Madden some days and nights and for a little bit of change. Man, put it like this. Whenever the other person left, whoever was the loser hated themselves. I mean, really hated. Yasha would take some bread from me. I would take some bread from Yasha. Our relationship was strong. Our bond is strong. 30 years later, we're still friends. And let me tell you something, man. I could tell you some stories of times we went to parks, and I picked fights for some reason with the locals in the park, and they would beat me to a pulp. And these guys would be concerned with my well-being because, why would I be starting with these guys? We're visitors, and I'm telling them to go F themselves in their place, in their house. And then I would wake up and I would say, hey, what happened? And they would tell me the stories of, the guy choking me out. this thing here got me in a lot of trouble. Friday Phil, another person. The first radio show that allowed me to broadcast at Brooklyn College Radio was Friday Phil's NFL picks. I believe it was Take It to the Bank. He called it. In fact, I was so mesmerized and in a trance from that show that I continued the show after Friday Phil put me out and started doing his own thing. He basically gave me the keys to my own car and said, look, I think you should go and drive your own car instead of, shotgunning with me. And so I continued to do the picks, the NFL picks on Twitter before they kicked me off, just like Friday Phil. And reminded me of the Chocolate Rain guy. Friday Phil reminded me of the Chocolate Rain. I don't know who the Chocolate Rain guy is, but let me get through this. Friday Phil, thank you. Thank you, Taisha. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Natalie Abruzza. Thank you, Lisa Futch. Oh, now, Lisa, if you listen to watch the Friday Night Live show, Lisa actually got a shout out on that show with UG. So, that's the Lisa. We've reconnected on Facebook. And I hope she watches the shows because I want her to know that she's been important in past shows. Yes, that's her, Lisa. That is her dialect. You can go and you can look her up. I believe that is it. I believe that is no. Hold on. Sorry, Moses, a person that joined me on my show, the David Simon Show. Moses was a co-member, a co-host. In fact, I started Moses out on radio. I don't think Moses wanted to be in radio really, and I think I encouraged him and I brought him in. I hope he could discredit me on this. I'm saying I made him. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, I made Moses. Forget the fact that he's gone on to stardom, writing books, scripts, and things like that, winning awards, MTV awards, and things like that. I made him. Okay. He was nothing before I found him. I found him and I discovered him. That I unearthed that gem. You can discredit me if you like. Anne-Marie, I had a huge crush on Anne-Marie when I was in school, when I was in elementary school. Anne-Marie, Spanish little mommy. She was dating my friend Angel. And man, did I want Anne-Marie. Oh my God. God bless her. She had to move to Florida to get rid of me. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay. She had to move to Florida to get rid of me. That's how on Anne-Marie I was. Oh my God. And last but not least, definitely not least, is Pastor Emmanuel Simon. Pastor Emmanuel Simon, in closing, he is the pastor of my family reunion. He lives out in South Carolina. Zaretti, shout out to Zaretti, my cousin. We also just recently connected on Facebook. Since I've been on Facebook, I've been reconnecting with a lot of friends and family, and that's rewarding and depressing in some aspects because we shouldn't have had to wait so long. I shouldn't have been so negligent and not making sure I stayed in contact with these friends and family members. And I thank them all for the birthday shout outs and love. And Emmanuel, I'm sorry that this year the family reunion won't be happening. In fact, I haven't been to a family reunion in so long, but I do hear the stories. And Emmanuel will give us the benediction for breakfast, Sunday morning service, the breakfast for Saturday morning. He would do Sunday morning breakfast prayer as well as Sunday morning church. Then he would do the Sunday afternoon farewell prayer. He very, very, very good preacher. I enjoy him. I miss all of my family this year and all of the years that I have not attended the family reunion. I apologize. I'm getting my life in order, and hopefully we get this world back in order and we can rejoin each other again and hug and love each other again. But until then, we have Facebook, and I thank you all for joining me tonight on this episode of David Simonism Show. Hey, I'm promising you guests, but I don't know if they're going to show up. Until we meet again, be good. And if you can't be good, Be good at